about Beterbiev-Bivol because Beterbiev did not get the knockout. We're just waiting for the decision. I will admit, I did not get to see the fight. I only caught a little bit of the tail end because I was out socializing with friends. But who do you guys think won that fight? I heard one announcer say he thought it could be a draw. Do you think a draw makes sense? Okay, let's hang on and listen for the official decision, as they say.
Scores at 116 to 112 to the winner by majority decision. And now the unified, undisputed world champion, Artur
Beterbiev by majority decision. So he didn't get the KO, but he did get the W. Do you guys think that Beterbiev deserved to win this matchup? Sounds like there's a little bit of mayhem going on in the ring right now. I don't know. Looks like the ring is absolutely crowded. Of course, Beterbiev's camp is crowded around him, congratulating him. Okay, so Jesus is saying it wasn't close for him. Beterbiev won. What about the rest of you guys who are watching? What do you think? Did Beterbiev deserve to beat Bivol by decision, by majority decision? That means one judge thought it was a draw, right? The two other judges gave it narrowly to Beterbiev, or maybe not. I didn't hear all the scores, but that's what a majority decision means. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought Beterbiev is the number one pound for pound before this fight. And again, for some of the reasons I outlined in the video, I would say he's I don't know, even if somehow Bivol had managed to eke out the decision, I would still say I think more of Beterbiev technically than I do of Bivol. And that's not to say Bivol is not good. He is very good at that Eastern European style with a little bit of American sort of upper body movement mixed in. But that's not quite enough to surpass what I think Beterbiev is capable of. Hi, Brad. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Errol HL. And hi, Brad. Yes, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon. I am good. I hope you're good too. Okay, so Errol feels that was a robbery, meaning I'll assume you think that Bivol got robbed. Again, I did not get to see the whole fight. I'm going to have to rewatch the whole fight to give you guys my post-fight breakdown. Do you think the judges just look for who was landing the harder punches? Is that why they gave the decision to Beterbiev? KTVH12 has an answer for Stevie Baby. Yeah, cute. Let's see what...
maybe I want to watch you. Maybe that's why I did not deliver more punches. I don't know. Did you feel like you were slowing him down with your power as the fight went on? No. I'm not delivering him. No one punch. Did you feel like when the final bell rang, did you think you did enough to win the fight? Yes, but it's for me not uncomfortable because usually I'm not waiting for it's today.
So Beterbiev is saying something about he didn't throw hard punches at Bivol. I don't know if he's joking. And this is the first time Beterbiev has gone the distance, right? It's the first time he hasn't KO'd his opponent. First time going the distance. How does it feel to go the full 12
I'm happy that for that. I'm, I'm very simple boxer. Like me, like boxers in the world like me, I think more than thousands. Even Muhammad Ali have fights long distance, all distance. I'm not bad boxer even.
Okay, it sounds like Beterbiev, he was asked about, what is it like to go the distance for the first time? I don't know how good of a question that is, but he's saying, it's part of the boxing experience. Of course. He's just sort of the exception in that he had 20 KOs in 20 fights.
This was a fantastic fight, and I think a lot of people would love to see again. Would you be interested in a rematch?
Oh boy. So now the guy in the ring is asking Beterbiev if he's interested in a rematch with Bivol.
Thank you very much for Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Akhwat Sila, Allahu Akbar, Chef Champion.
Okay, so now he's just, Beterbiev is just, thanking the promoter in Saudi Arabia.
Beterbiev-Bivol. Dimitri, do you think you did enough to win the fight? First of all, I want to say thank you for this chance. Thank you to Riyadh season, to Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so Bivol opens with thanking everybody, like the promoters in Saudi Arabia.
Everything perfect. And I don't have any explanation because it would like excuses. I just congratulations to Arthur and his team.
So Bivol refuses to make any explanations, he says, because it'll sound like an excuse, so just congratulations to Beterbiev.
My future, that's it. How surprised were you that you didn't get the decision? Sorry? Were you surprised that you didn't get the decision? I don't know. I did my job. I could make better. I always could make better.
So Mannix asked Bivol if he was surprised he didn't get the decision, and Bivol graciously sidestepped the question to say, hey, I could have been better. I always could be better. So, I mean, that's a way of just avoiding that question, right? And to his credit. Because what's he going to say? No, I don't think I deserved the decision, or yes, I deserved the decision, which then means, but he didn't get it. It doesn't change the outcome. Again, the rematch question. And so he says, Bivol says yes, he would like a rematch because he does want to be the undisputed light heavyweight.
One class show by Bivol, no excuses, congratulating Beterbiev, and
Guys, I hate to say it, but that post-fight in-ring interview by, is that Chris Mannix wearing a suit jacket with a t-shirt underneath? Horrible, horrible look, guys. I mean, yes, obviously I'm female, not male, but it's just such a bad look to me to wear a t-shirt under a suit jacket. Either wear the suit jacket, wear a shirt with a tie, or just wear a freaking golf shirt, or wear your t-shirt if you want to wear a t-shirt. But stop this business with the freaking, I don't know, maybe he paid $200 for that t-shirt that he wore under a suit jacket, but it's a terrible look. You shouldn't be embarrassed to be on camera and call yourself a professional journalist if that's how you're going to dress. Time to grow up. So, again, looks like each fighter had his moments. I would say, clearly, if one judge can give it a draw, then it's a close fight. But in terms of effective aggression, who landed the more effective punches? Excuse me. So Artur Beterbiev is now the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. I don't think we can take too much away from Beterbiev-Bivol for coming up, I suppose we could say, short by one, maybe by one judge, two judges. You know, if he'd gotten one more point from one, two more points, one from one judge and one from another, perhaps he could have eked out a W himself. All right, tell me what you guys think of that fight. Did you watch the fight? Did you enjoy the fight? Do you guys want to see a rematch between Beterbiev-Bivol? Stevie, what do you think? Brad, do you want to see the rematch? Errol, do you want to see the rematch? Okay, so Mr. Flash is sort of suggesting that Beterbiev, I think this is what you're suggesting, that Beterbiev got the decision in Saudi Arabia because he's Muslim? I don't know. Okay, so Joe's telling us, yeah, we need a rematch because the fight was so close. Right on the line, right to the very end. All right, I will take your word for that, Joe, because I know Joe is highly knowledgeable about boxing. Like I said, unfortunately, I was only able to catch the tail end of the last round, which doesn't tell me anything about the fight. I was out socializing, so, you know, that's kind of what I suggest you guys do instead of watching live streams of other people talking about a fight. Go out and have fun. Thank you so much, Joe, for the membership gift. I truly, truly appreciate that. I'm sure the beneficiary of your generosity appreciates you gifting a membership. That is David Jenkins. Congratulations to David. So David, be sure to check in on the membership side and check out the members only content. There's occasionally members only polls to see what you guys are interested in. And of course you have early access to all content. Cool Man Player says it's nighttime. Where are you at, Cool Man Player? Are you in Europe or the UK? And everybody else, tell me your favorite moments in that fight or how you think the fight went. All right, Cool Man Player. Don't want you to stay up past your bedtime, so don't let us keep you up. What other fights on the undercard did you guys enjoy? What about was it Wardley KO'd Clark in the first round? That's crazy. Excuse me, I didn't do a pre-fight breakdown of Wardley Clark, but I did do a post-fight breakdown of their initial match. I thought that was a fun fight, but I'm sort of shocked that it ended so quickly for the two of them. Hello, Ellis Vlogs. Good to see you as always. How do you think a rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol goes? Do you think Beterbiev gets the W again? Or do you think Bivol figures something out to secure a W? It doesn't look like Dimitri really is sort of a KO light heavyweight type, but okay, Alice Vlogs thinks Bivol will win the rematch. Right. Okay. So Joe's telling us that the judges favored the pressure fighter Beterbiev over sort of the movement, the slick movement of Bivol. I mean, I can see that. It just depends on, you know, what the judge is scoring, right? again, like I said, I need to take a look at the whole fight before I can give you some objective feedback on that. Okay, Scattered Energy is saying Bivol took the 11th round off, and that's what cost him the fight. When it's that close, yes, you don't want to take a round off, especially towards the end or in the championship rounds. Okay, great. So Shug H says this was a good card and main event lived up to what it was supposed to be, so I'm happy. Tanker Roach, Remy's asking Tanker Roach, Tank. Without even putting much thought into it, but yeah, Tank. Okay, so Nicole Adams is saying that she would like to see the rematch between both fighters, Bivol and Beterbiev. Right, okay, so Joe is saying in a rematch, Bivol would have to be more aggressive. I kind of tend to agree just based on what I've, not on this fight, but what I've seen of his fighting style in the past. Because again, he does still hang on to that Eastern European sort of in and out kind of movement, and then, you know, he would need to pick it up against a pressure fighter like a Beterbiev. Someone's asking me how I scored it. I didn't, because like I only tuned in towards the very end, so I can't give you an opinion right now. I'm gonna have to rewatch the whole fight and then break it down. Sino7, thank you for becoming a member. Awesome. Cool. We look forward to seeing you on the membership side. Yeah, be sure to check out for members only polls, members only queries, where, you know, I'll throw a question out there for you guys that are members. You'll be the only ones that can view or hear the question, and then, you know, of course, you're all welcome to chime in. Sometimes my queries are not always about boxing or MMA. They might have something just to do with sort of society in general, but they're the kind of questions I don't necessarily want to throw out there to the so-called general public, because I don't want to deal with everybody's opinions. I do care about some people's opinions, so I need some way of filtering out all the silly comments, right? So that's why I make members only queries, members only polls, etc. And Joe, thank you for the second membership he's gifted us with. That seems to be going to Larry Liston. Very cool. Very, very cool. No relation to Sonny Liston, I assume. Okay. Shug says, I want to see this fight again. All right. Well, yeah, I want to see it for the first time, and then I mean, maybe it will be, you know, if you guys felt it was a good action-packed fight, then yeah, I mean, a rematch might be one of the better fights for 2025. Sino7 says he has Beterbiev winning, but was worried about his knee. Had Bivol winning by split decision by the end. Yeah, and then he's saying it could be some of the rounds where Bivol threw nothing, like the 11th. So, yeah, I think someone else, I don't know if it was also Sino, but yeah, Bivol took off the 11th round. That was probably a tactical game plan error. When a fight is that close, you don't take off the championship rounds, you pour it on. So I don't know what corner advice Bivol got between the 10th and the 11th, but if it was close up to that point, which it sounds like it was, then his corner definitely should not have told him, hey man, just chill in the 11th, because he's not a KO artist. You can't chill in the 11th knowing you're going to knock somebody out in the 12th. I mean, that's a bad game plan even for the most heavy-handed fighter. Nobody knows that they can get a KO in the 12th. Those Hail Mary KOs happen every now and again because a gifted fighter just finds it within themselves to bring something forward, and or the other fighter is absolutely so badly damaged, stepping into the 12th round, that final push from the other guy just finishes him off. Okay, Shug says that we could see a Clark-Wardley trilogy if Clark spends some more time building himself back up, getting some wins. Fair enough. I think it's kind of interesting that, Clark went the sort of conventional route of being an amateur, going to the Olympics, getting an Olympic medal, and yet Fabio Wardley took a completely unconventional route, which is to do the white collar thing, and then transition into pro ranks. Unfortunately, we can't do that here in the United States of America, so that's not a pathway for any American fighters, American aspiring pro fighters. But more props to Fabio Wardley for being able to, really cement himself now that he's secured that British heavyweight title. Justifies throwing him in for other title fights. Okay, Shane, I didn't get to watch the whole fight, so I can't offer you, my opinion on scoring or how that fight should be scored. I'm gonna have to watch the fight in replay and then give you guys my post-fight breakdown. Shug says yes. Sometimes amateur does not always translate well into the pros. Absolutely true. You can be a hit-and-run amateur superstar because you win on points by just touching the other guy, but then you never make it into the pro ranks. Now with Clark's case, I don't think he was a hit-and-run style amateur fighter. I just think he didn't or hasn't yet put in enough work to really polish himself off to what he needs to do to be a world-class professional heavyweight. He needs to get back to brass tacks, in my opinion, to work on his conditioning, work on putting his punches together better, working off that jab. Thank you so much, Joe. He said, I nailed it in my pre-fight, which is that Beterbiev already knew how to deal with the Eastern Bloc stand-up, that stance they always do with that jab hand way out in front of them at 90 degrees, forming a right angle, just kind of level changing, bouncing up and down. They all have the same rhythm. Here's why. Guys, it doesn't matter what the sport is. Check out how communist countries train their athletes. It's like military style. They make them all line up in a grid like they're soldiers, in the yard doing their exercises, and everybody has to do the exact same movement at the exact same time. There may be the head coach kind of on an elevated platform or something looking down at everybody. They can spot right away if somebody's out of sync with the rest of the group. But not only that, if you're the athlete, you don't want to be the one that looks weird and is out of sync with what everybody else is doing. So what's the end result of all those, say Russian boxers, for example? They all have the same rhythm. And my point in my pre-fight was that Beterbiev had to find a way out of that system or out of that style because he had to fight bigger guys as an amateur. There's no way that a smaller Eastern European stylist beats a bigger Eastern European stylist because they have the height disadvantage and the reach disadvantage. So now he had to come up with something else of his own to deal with those cruiserweight and heavyweight amateurs. Right, Shug is pointing out that Henry Tillman beat Mike Tyson as an amateur, but then didn't pan out in the same level as a pro. Okay, and Shug is telling me that Wardley was just so rough and tumble. Well, good for him, man, because he did what he needed to do to win this fight. I do want to check out a replay of Wardley Clark because I thought that was such a terrific, as we say, dust up the first time around. I'm really looking forward to seeing their rematch. Okay, so Shug is also telling us about Sky. Okay, does Sky have an inside game? Shug is wondering. Yes, interesting. Here's the thing that I've noticed, Shug. Very few women will fight on the inside. I was lucky enough at Gleason's gym to have a sparring partner named Vanessa Greco, and we would both stand toe to toe and work on the inside. And we really appreciated working with each other because nobody else would work on the inside with either one of us. So we really got, that's the only way you're going to develop an inside game is working on it during live sparring. But you need to have the dance partner to do that in the gym. And the other thing is with women's pro fights, most of them are still 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. So you may not want to spend that time. You may not want to invest on an inside game because you only got 2 minutes. So it's almost closer to it being a hard amateur fight with no headgear and slightly smaller gloves. Sugar's saying Sergey Kovalev is also a classic example of the Eastern European style. But then he tried to, I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean. He died by trying to adopt when he got with main event. Yeah, Kovalev kind of fell apart a little bit. I think he also had a few issues with the bottle, if you know what I mean. So I think that took away from his training to a certain extent, and which in turn took away from his fights. Sino 7 saying not much been taken from the rematch between Wardley Clark. Except Wardley said it was round 13 for him, and that he had his number. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Wardley just figured he'd continue on where they just left off with the previous 12 rounder. So if he was able to starch Clark in the first round, yeah, I believe that's accurate, right? He knew exactly how to just jump right into the fight and nail Clark. All right, so again, this has nothing to do with boxing, but what is up with all these males who wear a suit jacket and a button-down shirt, a dress shirt, and no freaking tie? Sorry, guys, it grosses me out as a female. Just either don't wear the freaking suit jacket. I mean, do something else. Don't wear the suit jacket if you don't want to wear the dress shirt with the tie. Do the Joe Goosen and just wear a nice flowery dress shirt with no suit jacket then. And the t-shirt, another dude with a t-shirt, some guy with a beard and glasses. Sorry, I can't see who it is. And then even worse, it's the suit jacket with freaking jeans or something and sneakers. Guys, either freaking go formal or go casual. Just pick a lane and drive in it. All right. Right, Sugar's saying that Kovalev did try to adapt to an American style when he came to main event, but because he had so much of his Eastern European traits, I think this is what you're saying, Shug, that that Ward exploited, that Eastern European thing, as well as Kovalev's, sort of excesses. So one way, an American fighter can take advantage of that Eastern European thing with that high lead arm guard and at the 90-degree angle is quite often they're open for a lead left hook. Now, lead left hook is very dangerous to throw on, conventionally, but the Eastern Europeans with that motion thing they do with their lead hand way extended, they're open for a left hook if you can time it right. All right. Yeah, Sino was saying formal casual. I'm just saying, yeah, I know. It's pretty gross though. So I don't know who this dude is with the receding hairline, glasses, and jacket with the pocket thing. What do you call that? The handkerchief in the pocket here. And a friggin' t-shirt. Stop it. Okay. Shug is saying it's a different generation. He's saying I have so many complaints like this, but I have to face that my time is past. LOL. Okay, well, yes, my time is past as well. Or past as well. So this dude, yeah, okay, it's a double-breasted suit jacket with a handkerchief tie and a t-shirt. I don't know, man. Yes, Sugar's saying Ward intelligently gambled on that inside work to the body and that it could pay off. And he took a hell of a chance and it paid off. Right, okay. Okay, taking a look at some of the little replay highlights here. Who do we have touching the ground in the red trunks? Sorry, a little pause here. Sugar saying, to me, come from a time when guys dressed up, they had the double-breasted pinstripe. Always respected when I saw that. Looks neat and formal. Yeah, and I'm assuming they didn't wear a t-shirt under their double-breasted pinstripe. But well, I'll give a free pass Nicole Adams for wearing a looks like a suit jacket and sneakers only because she's female. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe that's biased on my part, but I mean, she's wearing a very interesting, colorful jacket there. Anyways, she's kind of got her own style too, right? If you follow her on social media. Okay, so Sugar said, no, it had to be a cream-colored dress shirt with blue tie or red and blue stripes, so the shirt will look very white. That's the stuff right there, LOL. Okay, yeah, I mean, you gotta color coordinate everything. Here's the only thing, Shug. Have you noticed that these weird LED lights that they use now make everything look blue? So, yeah, I don't know how the cream and the blue LEDs, I don't know how all the color works with everything now. But in any case, I suppose that's the topic for a completely separate podcast or broadcast or video or something. But why is it that these guys have an aversion to wearing a tie? Is it, I mean, is it just so uncool, or do they not know how to tie a tie? I mean, you could always just get someone who knows how to tie it for you and leave it loose, so you just have to put it over your head and cinch it up a bit, right? If you are clueless on how to tie it. And then there's lots of YouTube videos on how to tie a tie, I assume. All right. Taylor Swift and Harry Potter fans saying, what are you even talking about? Well, we're just chatting post Beterbiev-Bivol. Haha, Joe was saying a neckerchief tie like Freddy from Scooby-Doo. That's funny. That would be good to see. Oh, Sugar's saying, okay, it's the second thing. They don't know how to tie it and are afraid they'll be embarrassed for a clip-on falls off. Yeah, I guess the clip-on would be embarrassing. You could get away with a clip-on when you're, what, in elementary school? Middle school, maybe? Like up to the age of 13 or 14, perhaps. I used to work at a school in New York City that was what they called a uniform school, which is not something that's commonplace in the United States of America. But boys were expected to wear navy blue slacks, black leather dress shoes, a white dress shirt, and a navy blue tie. So I'm guessing most of those guys didn't know how to tie it, so they got their dad or someone to tie it for them, and they just stuck it over their head. But some of them did sort of opt for the clip-on thing just because it's easier. Taylor Swift and Harry Potter fan says they're going to New York. All right, well, if you're into boxing, make sure you stop by Gleason's gym. If you're not into boxing, if you're into cheesecake, make sure you go by Junior's and get a piece of cheesecake. Don't walk from Manhattan like Diddy made those kids walk from Manhattan to Brooklyn. There's actually a Junior's in Manhattan now. It's near where all the theaters are. I have no idea if the prices are higher because it's in a more expensive zip code, so to speak. But yeah, Junior's makes good cheesecake. Definitely also get a slice of pizza. Hard to get a bad slice of pizza in New York. You might just, the only thing is you might get an overpriced slice of pizza. I would say just a plain cheese slice should be, if it's a good pizza joint, it should be good. Or if not, then you know, if you're a real pepperoni fiend, yeah, get a pepperoni and cheese slice. But you don't need to go any fancier than that if it's a legit New York pizza place. All right, let me see if I can find see if anybody's posted the fight just yet. Did you guys see Ben Whitaker's fight? What did you think of that? How about Opataya? Sugar says, yeah, he was in New York City, got a big cheese slice from, I guess, a food truck, and it was one of the best, and he's eaten all over. Now, some people, this is super interesting, Shug. Some people say that it's the water, the hard water in New York, meaning, I guess, it got a lot of minerals in it or something. They say that the water affects bread dough, like not just for pizza, but also for bagels. So supposedly, there's a bagel maker in Los Angeles who's a transplanted New Yorker, and they would bring in New York City tap water to make their bagels. Don't know if that's true, if it's just an urban myth, but I can understand how the water would affect the quality of the dough. Shug, if you ever are on the East Coast of the United States, you got to hit New Haven and go to either Sally's or Pepe's. I think at this point I would say, oh gosh, Sally's. I believe Pepe's is kind of expanded and kind of franchised himself, and supposedly the quality has fallen off a bit. But either one, go and try, as long as you're not allergic, try the white clam pizza. Sounds really weird, but it's really good as long as you can eat clams. Yes, Shug says, as Ben Whitaker moves up in competition, he won't be able to do as much horsing around, which is what we're seeing right now. Yes, I would love to see Ben Whitaker in a more competitive fight. Antics aside, I do know he's trying to do what his generation does, which is, you know, go viral on social media. And so he knows all these little antics will get clipped into little, you know, shorts, as we say, something less than 10 seconds long, which can then get posted on TikTok and could potentially go viral and just expand his audience to those in his generation who like that kind of stuff. But that's all that his generation cares about, really, is eyes from their own generation. But he is truly a good boxer. Like, he's a talented athlete and a good boxer. So I almost feel like his antics take away from the fact, you know, how good of a boxer he truly is, because our attention goes to his goofing around and clowning around instead of the actual skills that he's showing in the ring. I also think he needs to KO his opponents. And chill a little bit with the antics. Okay, so Sugar's telling me the Haredi make the best bagels I've ever had. The cinnamon raisin ones, it must be the kashrut laws. Okay, so you got to tell me what that's all about, because I don't know about what Haredi is or are, or the kashrut laws. Okay, so Sugar's saying New Haven's on his list. now. Awesome, awesome. If you land in New York City, it's about an hour and 45 minutes by train on the Amtrak from Central Station to New Haven, Connecticut, and then a very short cab ride, a very, very short cab ride from the Amtrak station in the in New Haven, Connecticut to either Sally's or Pepe's. All right. Sugar saying in-ring trolling. I'm assuming you, yes, if we're talking about Ben Whitaker. Okay, Sugar's saying, I love seeing the Haredi make the bagels. They cook them right in front of you and add the ingredients and all the stuff you ask for. Wow, as they're going along. Amazing. Okay, that's pretty cool. I've never heard of that. The only other bagel besides I'm actually, here's something I hate to admit. I'm not truly a New York City bagel fan because New York City bagels are really, really bready. There's a lot of bread in them. They're big. And for me, it's too much. I actually like a Montreal bagel better. Now, Montreal bagels are like shaped by hand, so little ring of dough or strip of dough that they bend into a circle, and then they bake it in. I'm not sure if they're. It looks like a coal oven or something like that, but there's a little bit of sweetness to them, and they're a little cakier. That's maybe not the right word, but they're not as bready and yeasty as a New York bagel. So if you're ever in Montreal, check out the Montreal bagels too. I'm assuming that's also because there's a pretty big Jewish community in Montreal. Yeah, there's also a pretty significant Middle Eastern community in Montreal. So yeah, Montreal is a very, very much an international city. Sugar said he was in New York City for about 6 months and made sure to visit all the boroughs to eat all over, and it was a great experience. I'm sure, like, New York is such an awesome place to be a foodie, especially because it's not expensive. You can get some amazing meals in these little mom and pop type places, and it's legit, tastes good, all of that, and it's not expensive. Okay, so Sugar's educating me now. He's saying the Haredi are the most Orthodox Jews, and something about the preparation gives them a different texture. Something to do with the laws of Judaism. Okay, interesting. And he's also saying he'll try them, meaning I'm assuming you mean the Montreal bagels. Says I like to try different kinds just for the difference. Okay, John's saying something about someone as being a snitch. That's interesting. I don't know who he's talking to here. Or if he's just being a troll. John's Dehingia. Are you being a troll? You just come on alive to be a troll? All right, one sec. I'm going to grab something to drink. All right. Okay, so let's see if their press conference has started just yet. Okay.
Do not buy another lottery ticket until you see this. A U.S.
All right, here we go with the. Sugar saying my explanation about why Sky and other female boxers don't have an inside game is very enlightening. Never considered that before. Yeah, it's just like the 2-minute time duration and then 1 minute to recuperate kind of is a disincentive to invest in body punches, right? Because if you're not going to probably land a body punch right out the gate at the beginning of the round, it's going to take you a minute to kind of get there. So now you're into the minute and a half range, and you've only got 30 seconds till the end of the round. So let's say you land a good body punch after the between 1 minute and 1 minute 30. That person just has to survive another 30 seconds, and now they get an entire 60 seconds to recuperate, and then you got to start it all over, measure them in order to get to the body. I mean, the other strategy, of course, is to just know that right out the gate you're going to go for a hard body shot. But that's not sort of a typical game plan that people have, right? Ju says, poor guy Bivol. John Dehinja, can you teach me MMA? John, you gotta go to a gym and learn live from somebody. Shug, saying, how much of a change in the complexion of ladies boxing do you think there would be if it were kicked up to 3 minutes? I think there would be a shift to more, just better pacing. People would start investing in body shots, because then over that 3 minute duration, now if you hit a body shot around a minute 30, now they have a whole second half of that round that they got to deal with that body shot. It might not really hit until right towards the end, but if you figure that out, now you know, oh, okay, they just felt it really hard, now I can just pour it on towards the end of the round. Now they only have 60 seconds to recuperate. And then the next round, after you've landed that hard body shot, it's going to start setting in more and more. So yes, if a 3 minute round, I think you'd see a shift in game plans. You'd see a shift in techniques used. I think women, who have an intelligent trainer would start to invest in working the body more. Joe, you are so awesome. You just gifted yet another membership, and Ashley Woodpepper is the recipient of a membership from Joe. Thank you, Joe. You are awesome. Thank you so much for helping our membership side grow.
So this is the culmination of a 10-year journey for you guys. I just wondered if you could speak about your working relationship and how you actually feel in this moment after all these years.
So we started working together about 10 years ago. It's a long, like you say, it's a long journey. So, and we always like having like small objectives. We never think about like just we're going from one objective to another one. Today it's just something great, but like I just said a couple of minutes ago, we're not the type of team who will be satisfied with this. On the morning, we will fix new objectives and just keep. You need motivation.
So congratulations to Canada. You now have a undisputed world champion in the form of Artur Beterbiev, and congratulations to La Belle Province de Quebec and La Ville de Montréal, because you have your champion, Artur Beterbiev. Congratulations to his coach, Mark Ramsey.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, light heavyweight champion.
Mark Ramsey was the fellow who had sort of the eye to figure out, in the amateur scene that this fellow Artur Beterbiev had great potential, and made a way for Artur and his family to emigrate to Canada, to Montreal, to train and then pursue his pro boxing career. Very interesting, because clearly Beterbiev must have had a lot of faith in Mark Ramsey, because Montreal's not sort of a bedrock of boxing in terms of, it is within Canada, but not globally, right? Like a lot of guys, especially Eastern European, they move to the LA area. The other option, a little more back in the day, was to go to New York. But since the 2000s, mid-2000s, 2010s, a lot of the New York guys kind of decamped to the LA area, like Paul Malignaggi, Peter Quillen. Those guys, you know, they were real born and bred New Yorkers, but they moved out to Los Angeles specifically to train at Wildcard. Sugar saying, I know all the regions of Caucasus are dancing in the street now. Oh, very cool, very cool. Yes, I'm sure, you know, everybody's happy for Beterbiev. I bet you all of Montreal should be partying right now. Montrealers party anyways, and the bars and nightclubs are open to 4 a.m. always. But I mean, maybe they'll be generous and give out a few rounds of free drinks to everybody. I don't know. Joe is saying in regards to body punchers, fighters like the great Aaron Pryor used to throw multiple straight right hands to the body instead of a jab. Yeah, Aaron Pryor was incredible. I mean, like they say, you could throw a punch from any angle. Joe says, man, do I miss that guy. Yeah, like fighters like that, throwback guys like that. I mean, Pryor was truly a one-of-a-kind fighter. I mean, there's not a guy that you would say, you wouldn't tell your aspiring boxer, hey, you know, try to fight like Aaron Pryor, because it's like there's no point. It'd be impossible. You can't emulate that style. So you guys tell me, was Teddy Atlas right? Was Paul Malignaggi right in their pre-fight predictions? I mean, I didn't get it right. I said Beterbiev by KO, but at least Beterbiev got the W. A lot of people were not necessarily Paulie or Teddy. I didn't bother listening. I purposely don't listen to other guys' pre-fight breakdowns, because I don't want to take any of that in, and I don't want to be biased. Like, I don't want to bias my own opinion based on what I hear from somebody else. Shug is saying Beterbiev and Kovalev have fought in the amateurs, yes, but Kovalev is still sour grapes about it, claiming he was cheated out of a close fight because they fought in the Caucasus. Well, Kovalev needs to get over it. You know, and I looked back into both Bivol's and Beterbiev's amateur careers, because in every other area they line up so closely, right? They both have about 20 fights in the pro ranks. They're both close in age. You know, all the other factors where normally there's a difference, these guys are really close. So you got to look, where are the differences? Well, the difference for them, even though they both came up in the Russian amateur system, was the one big difference, or two big differences that I pointed out in my pre-fight analysis, was Beterbiev fought at a more global scale. He fought heavier, and he fought guys that we recognize now, like Usyk, Vodzik, Shilak, and Kovalev. Whereas Bivol was more fighting just other guys. Not that they weren't great, but he was fighting guys more on a national scale in the Eastern, or at least Eastern European bloc. So that shows you he just was the best of the Eastern Europeans. But he didn't get a chance to really test himself globally against other styles with his best of the best European style. Okay. Snap Rap, how did I become a fight fan? I became a fight fan by being a fighter since I was a kid. First judo and then boxing as an adult. Shug said, I went back and forth so many times in the lead up, I couldn't even score. It was so exciting. Okay, good. That's good to know. Joe's saying, I would love to have seen a Bob Foster and Michael Spinks fight Beterbiev. Those would be action-filled fights for sure. Interesting. I'm not familiar with Bob Foster. It's interesting to think of other light heavyweights that would match up well with Artur Beterbiev. Shug is saying, I've been hunting for that Kovalev-Beterbiev amateur tape, but I still yet to find it. If anyone has it, please upload. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it's sort of hidden, or I wonder if you translated their last names into Cyrillic alphabet, right? And then like via Google Translate or something, and then searched the Cyrillic alphabet, maybe it'll pop up. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that in a bit and see if that works. Sugar's saying, Joe, I think the Sphinx jinx would have frustrated and irritated Beterbiev in the fight. That's interesting. Let's see. Oh yeah, sure. Well, sometimes when I'm trying to look up some of the Japanese fighters, I'm a real Tenshin Nasukawa fan, but I like to try to find footage of his training. The thing is, most, say English-speaking people are only going to put up footage of a fighter's fights. They just, I don't know, they don't post fighters' trainings. So I figured there's a better chance that I could find sort of more behind-the-scenes stuff about a fighter if I search for Tenshin Nasukawa in Japanese like script called kanji, or anyways, yeah, that's helped me a little bit with foreign to us, right? Like people with not English names. If you search in their alphabet, it might come up. Other content will come up. You could always try to closed caption with the translate. Doesn't always work so well, but if you're just looking, most of us are just looking for a visual, right? Because it's about fighting and training. We don't really need closed captions. Shug says, I do that for sports stuff in Arabic. Yeah, I get it. So just translate in my language. Yeah. Give it a shot. See if something good comes up.
You said I'm not a great boxer. No, you are one of the greatest boxers around the world. You and even the guy who lost the game. Sorry, I forgot his name. But anyway, with all respect to them, both of them, I'm not good with the name. What does that mean to you? Today you wrote the history. Today you made the history for you and for your country.
To be honest, to be in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, I'm never dreaming I have fight here, and become undisputed world champion here, It's like
Joe is saying, yes, I absolutely lean towards Spinks defeating him. But man, it would have been a shootout for sure. Spinks without boxing sits down on his punches after taking a few hard shots. Yeah. Interesting. Shug is saying, for sure, I think many forget how good Spinks was. And some just remember Tyson's 89-second victory over him. Good point, whatever gets shown and reshown repeatedly on YouTube becomes like sort of the collective memory of what was so. And so, Mike Tyson KOs are very memeable, right? And so I can understand why the current generation who only has ever looked at YouTube and never looked at VHS tape is just going to kind of redo or put out there, retweet, as it were, memeable moments, and that probably was one of them. Yeah, Sugar's saying Spinks was much more than that, meaning getting KO'd by Mike Tyson. Very good point. Just trying to search and see what's out there on YouTube land in terms of this fight and the undercard. All right, well, they've got some highlights, so. I like how these guys always title their video "Full Fight Highlights," which just means it's not the full fight.
Hi, I'm accident attorney Kevin Crockett. When you call the Crockett Law Group, we back you up. And as soon as the journalists keep on talking this, as you know, about that, but keep on going about the fact of why that happened and why the judges did that, at least that's going to bring some exposure to the situation, because they're just favoring the guy that, you know, I don't know if it's promoter involved or they're like, there's no big star in this. You know, there wasn't a bigger star in this fight. Both of the guys were top level fighters. Both of the guys dedicated.
Okay, so now it sounds like
And they have to look at both guys as
Vadim Kornilov, who's
understanding that
Dimitri's
round that they're
manager, is saying, you know, that the judges favored Beterbiev for some reason, and
I don't know the reason. I don't know. In this fight, I don't even understand
He-
what the politics are.
he says he doesn't understand what the politics are and why judges favored Beterbiev.
Major people that really don't, you know, there's no subjectivity. I think we should make the judges think that way as well.
Which kind of doesn't make sense to me.
First of all, congratulations for the big
Because if you're saying you can't figure out why the judges were biased, then
I know that, but you make
I don't know, you kind of answered your own question. All right.
your fan around the world happy for the big game you did today. I hope to see a rematch this game again. What would you like to see to your fans in Saudi Arabia?
So you're saying, yeah, it'll take time to upload the full fight. DAZN will have the highlights before other people. Yeah, we'll check it out.
In my skills, and I want to say sorry that I didn't do perfect and I didn't get my belts, but I hope I will have a chance. How you're saying how His Excellency told that he wants to make it, and I hope I will do better.
Oh, Joe brings up a Japanese fighter, Jiro Watanabe. I don't know him. I'm gonna have to look him up, Joe. Thank you for that. He said this guy was always defending his title all the time back then. Yeah, we're a little bit past that. I won't call it a heyday, but there was a time when there was always a handful of Japanese fighters at the sort of top 10 in that top 10 ranking. Right now, of course, we've got Inoue, but there's not sort of that whole. It's not as deep or as broad, it seems, right now with Japanese boxing as it was at a certain point.
Working 12 rounds, he's a very good fighter. If there is a rematch, would it be immediate, or if they don't accept it, what would be next if there's no rematch? I don't know what will be next. We need to.
So Christopher says, so it's all over. Beterbiev won. Yes, I just got out of the bathtub. Okay, yes, Beterbiev won by majority decision, which means one judge gave it a draw and then the other two gave it to Beterbiev. So of course, right now I'm just looking at the post-fight presser, and Team Bivol is saying yes, we want the rematch, of course. You got it, Christopher.
Top ranks Carl Moretti was in, and he said it's okay to have close fights either way, but it wasn't robbery. 7-5 the other way maybe, but he hasn't been. Carl Moretti, I'm not fighting Carl Moretti under a box. He's my mate. He knew we won that fight. I think he had it 7-5 to us.
So Eddie Hearn is now saying that Carl Moretti, who's from Top Rank, meaning Beterbiev, says So Eddie Hearn is saying that Carl Moretti had it 7-5 for Bivol. I don't know where Eddie gets this stuff.
8-9. He finished the fight well, and you know it was maybe the 7th round that Bivol pummeled him for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and he finished very strong. Had a great 30 seconds in a round. Maybe that was a round. That could be a swing round. I don't think so. But go back, watch the fight. Look at him take it
Eddie's saying, Bivol would block the punches with his gloves, and that he was quote unquote always in control. That's Eddie Hearn talking about Bivol.
Because obviously, there's something going on. He's always done well actually in previous fights. So whatever happened here, it's outrageous.
And again, Kornilov, Vadim Kornilov, which is Bivol's manager, is saying this is outrageous. Obviously, something went on. I'm not sure what he's alluding to. And just between me and you, I look at Kornilov's delts and biceps. He looks like he's, a little enhanced. What do you guys think? Plus, he's got to do the bro thing where he wears a t-shirt to the presser. He's a manager wearing a t-shirt. Super professional, right? Now he wants to show off those guns. So, yeah.
After all this is over, what would you like to do? What is your first wish besides the rematch and other fights? What would you like
Yes, Sugar, I think Sugar says, looks like he might be receiving some modified assistance. LOL. Yeah. I met Vadim like way back when at Wildcard, or at least, I crossed paths with him. He was a pretty skinny dude. I think he dabbled in boxing at sort of super amateur level, I don't know, and then decided he was going to become a boxing manager. But he wasn't known for working out, so yeah. See, here's one of the giveaways. When you have deltoids and biceps and no neck and no traps, how'd you get those deltoids? Did you literally just do the machines for the lat raise? Like, I don't know.
На самом деле у меня было такое какое-то умиротворение, наверное, да, вообще вот перед тем, как
Shug says, hey man, put your arms down. I am. They're down, can't you tell? Yeah.
Да, где-то может быть не идеально. Подняли руку, подняли, я сразу же переключился. Хорошо, это очередное испытание в моей жизни, все, надо ехать дальше, строить дальше планы. Нет времени на сожаление, на разочарование какие-то, все, надо думать, что дальше, отдохнуть и вперед. Вадим, из нас Hi guys, thank you so much for attending. This is one question, please. Sorry, you're Russian. Thank you very much. Вадим, вот если бы вы снова состоялся,
Okay, so now a couple of reporters are asking questions in Russian.
если бой состоится, мы увидим, что здесь
Dmitry replies in Russian, and then Vadim didn't bother to translate the last response.
понимание точно будет, что кое-какие вещи сделать по-другому, это точно. If this fight happened again, what would you do differently? You said that I would, I'm not ready to talk about that right now. Once the fight happens, we will see, but definitely some things will be different.
All right, so the reporter just asked Dmitry in the rematch, what would he do differently? And Dmitry very diplomatically sidestepped that one and said, I'm not ready to answer that right now. So Team Bivol looks like they're done with their part of the press conference.
17 hours.
All right, guys, let me do one more search for this. All right, so before we close out, you guys tell me any other fights that you'd like to hear about in terms of a post-fight analysis. Is it worth breaking down Sky's fight? Is it worth breaking down Ben's fight? Is it worth breaking down Fabio Wardley versus Frazier Clark's fight? What do you guys think? Definitely not going to break down any wardrobes because they all are pretty much an F. I don't know who I'd give a passing grade to for what they're wearing. Yeah, Shug is saying until he, meaning Bivol, looks at the tape so he can see it from the outside. Yeah, I think he's keeping mum, which is a wise thing to do. He does that very sort of stoic / diplomatic response thing, doesn't he? Shu says, yes, could we have a breakdown of the whole main event card? Okay, well, hopefully I can find footage of all that. Christopher is saying Fabio Wardley would be nice. Okay, got it. Yeah, I want to watch that fight anyways. It's only short fight, so it won't take me a long time, I don't think. Anything else, guys, before we close out? Well, thank you all for tuning into this little unannounced live, unexpected on my part too. I said last time I'd announce it, but like this was just spur of the moment, so I didn't. But last call. Any fights you guys are specifically interested in? Thank you very much for the thumbs up, Christopher. Yes, Shug, you're very welcome for the live. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the positive feedback. Yes, looking forward to more. I am as well. As I said, I'll hopefully get it together with a little more advance notice the next time. But thanks again, guys. I'm going to call it an evening. It's a little bit after 5 Pacific time, which means it's 8 Eastern Standard Time, which means it's like, what, 2 in the morning over in the UK or something. All right, so everybody have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Really appreciate you guys. Oh, it's 4 a.m. My bad. It's 4 a.m. in the UK. All right, so we'll either grab a cup of coffee and go out for a run or something, or just go to bed. I don't know how you deal with a late Saturday, early Sunday. But thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you the next time.